This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
Never rat on your friends, and always keep your mouth shut.
Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci, Goodfellas. The true story of 3 decades of life in the Mafia. Rated R. Starts Friday, September 21st.
The FBI is hiding ex-gangster Vinnie Antonelli in the suburbs.
I'm a new man. This is not the old me. This is the new me.
And the suburbs will never, ever be the same. Steve Martin, Rick Moranis, My Blue Heaven, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, August 17th at a theater near you.
Remixed, reloaded, re-edited.
Sometimes we get so deep into conversation that we have separate segments worthy of their own place in the sun.
Here is a reshuffled mini episode.
Yeah, and it's funny how things shift over time. Where like,
yes,
and maybe that's the Soprano effect because the Goodfellas is so all over the Sopranos. But people loved Goodfellas when I was growing up, and I remember watching it. I was far too young, but I still was watching it with my older brother. But it's just like people loved it, but that was never like the number one Scorsese movie. Where now, in recent times, that's always number one. Goodfellas.
Yes, funny how times change.
Yeah, it just shifts.
I think what I adore about his 90s crime movies is he would often do an intro for them when they premiered on ABC, and the TV edits. I think he also did it with The Departed. He would actually do the edits himself.
Oh.
So, all the violence modification, digitally altering, language redubs, he would supervise. Yeah.
I don't even know, to sit down and watch an edited, Casino or something like that. That doesn't even appeal to me.
I don't
honestly.
know about Casino because I have seen the clips on Bravo, and it's that's kind of like Boys in the Hood. You might as well just let it go to silent while they're talking. But Goodfellas, I felt it. I felt every bullet, even though he cuts away Joe Pesci's comeuppance at the very end. He's still, you feel all the, freaky stuff, the true crime element. I mean, just the fact that it's a heist and everyone involved in that heist is being dispatched, including Stack Edwards, played by a young Sam Jackson. But I guess Goodfellas has stood the test of time, not just because everyone rips off the opening narration. You've seen it in everything from Blood In, Blood Out to just even other movies Ray Liotta's been in. I think it was just everybody was on fire. You saw how, I think that was the one where he really showed how sexy this lifestyle is to all these, psychopaths and sociopaths who have embraced it. The fact that Henry Hill is just self-aware and yet using dark comedy to offplay his self-awareness of this unethical lifestyle. I think that's what draws people into it versus the whole, and what Sopranos took the most was the whole, they're being nice guys at a dinner and then the next minute they've just killed someone, and you're just like, what? And it's second nature to them. They don't think about it for a minute. The fact that you want to talk being drawn into their world is even though Henry Hill is not a narc, he definitely feels much like a narc, he feels like an outsider as he's being drawn into him. And seeing all the different Jewish slurs and the other stuff that they use it in a way where before it's just, everything was just so better edited there. I mean, the helicopter shot when Henry is trying to get back to his house to no avail. You feel like the viewer, you're seeing all this close in on him. Even Annabelle,
you gotta love it though, that shot, because obviously I think, and I don't want to assume, but I'm pretty sure the three of us and the people listening know, that lifestyle's not the way to go. So that's not good. But you gotta admit, when he takes Karen to the Copa And the way Marty fought, he goes through the back way, and the whole kitchen staff knows him, and he's just a baller. And they set up the table right in front for him. Like, that's such a great, like, the way they shoot that, and it's like, I know, like, this is bad, but there's a little part of me that's like, that's bad. I would love to, not everything else in the movie I don't want to be a part of, but to, like, walk through, like, I'm just imagining, like, even as a sports fan, like, I can go, like, Madison Square Garden, and everyone's like, hey, Mr. Dove, how you doing? And it's like, I'm right up front next to Spike Lee watching the Knicks, and it's like, hey, and I have a date, and she's like, who are you? And I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it does seem pretty appealing. Yeah, you're right, Deremy. Cam, you kind of alluded to, like, the beginning narration. I think that's one of my little nitpicks about Goodfellas. Yeah. I mean, I think I don't mind that so much, but then, like, the continued narration is when I go to one of my nitpicks about Goodfellas. I'm more of a show me, don't tell me. So I don't need to hear that, like, they're all named Mary, or they're all this guy has this tick when he speaks. Like, okay, I know you don't have to tell me, I know this. So the narration aspect, I don't quite love. One of the only people I've heard express it for me, like how I think's Amy Nicholson, like I think she works for the LA Times now. She has the Unspooled podcast with Paul Scheer, but Amy Nicholson, feels the same way, and she's expressed it so well. But so if I had to, like, that's one of the things where I watch Goodfellas and I'm like, man, I wish there wasn't all this narration though. Like,
oh no, it's not uncommon. Like, script writing classes, they frown on it. I think that's just it. Like, it was one of the most popular ones, but kind of like Alien and Star Wars, it's been so ripped off so many times that all we see is the negative aspect of it, because he somehow got away with it. Because
I think Thomas, I'm usually in agreement with you on it, like that narration, but in Goodfellas, I think it just works because it's like when he first sees Robert De Niro, Jimmy Conway, it's like, okay, the way he saw Jimmy and the way Jimmy was moving, it was like, it capped like what he saw as a young kid in Jimmy, and why Jimmy's going to be a big part of his life for good and for bad. And just him kind of getting introduced to all these different characters with the two ticks and all, because I think it is playing on, like, he's half Italian. So he kind of knows that, but he's not fully in it. So it's like, I kind of like when he's just like,
because he wasn't there at some of the crimes, but he's narrating what he knew after the fact. But I'll weigh in on with what you're saying is, like, there are other times where he might say it and it's like, yeah, no, he doesn't need to. And so I think it's more of one thing that might date the movie a bit, and I'm not trying to demean it. It's just because now we've seen everybody do a narration, and often it's just to cover up their lack of a budget, or they've just done it so bad that now what might have been good initially is now viewed as bad or a flaw. I mean, like, the Blade Runner one is bad because it gives away the whole movie. So
yeah.
And it wasn't meant to be that way, but they did it just because they think audiences are dumb. Versus,
I don't think Scorsese beloved movie that I couldn't connect with Blade Runner, but
it's all good, dude. My co-host John doesn't like it. We did a whole section on it, but we were talking about Philip K. Dick in general, how it inspired Total Recall, all those other even shows like Altered Carbon, but noir is just interesting how it escapes into all these different kinds of movies, and Scorsese was kind of the main one who wanted to tap into that, because, like, he knows how he wants everyone lit, he knows how he wants to create a mood, he knows the difference between that and a tone, and but you mentioned Goodfellas, and I have to say, My Blue Heaven is a fun double feature with that.
Man, I know My Blue Heaven, people like to crap on that movie, but I have a soft spot for it. Maybe because I watched it a lot as a kid, but I have a real soft spot for My Blue Heaven. You're right, it is a great double feature with this.
It was like the unofficial Henry Hill inspired movie. It somehow came out at the same time, but it is just so wild how Steve Martin reunited with his Pennies from Heaven director Herbert Ross, who's done some other sleeper comedies and dramas, and he's playing off Rick Moranis, but and people are like, why is it PG-13? It's like, well, because if you're not dialed in, Steve Martin lets out in one extended scene an F-bomb.
Yeah, he told that joke. What's the difference between a light bulb and a pregnant lady? I can unscrew a light bulb. That probably got the PG-13.
Yeah, that definitely helped.
Right there. Deremy, we've never talked about My Blue Heaven. Probably obviously it just hasn't come up. So you like that one, Deremy?
I do. I actually do. I'm
Rick
with you on that.
Like,
doesn't get talked about enough, but
for whatever reason, it's just, even though Steve Martin has done so much, and you guys have talked about him before, I just find it interesting how it's just like, it was kind of one of those, it was a video store hit, but man, critics were attacking it. It was not funny. I'm like, I don't know what you saw. I mean, I don't need to be laughing at every scene. I just need someone to want to make use of their comedic thing. Is like,
right.
And I just find it, I just find it funnier in hindsight, because now you wouldn't really have that. You'd have either a serious movie with some comedic elements, kind of like what Adam McKay does with stuff like The Big Short, or you'd see a parody a little down the road as one of those spoof movie maestros, but rarely would you see one where it's like, let's take the same source material, but guess what? It's a comedy, and the guy is in witness protection, and the other guy is being driven insane just trying to protect his, crooked ass.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Moranis is having a ball with it because he's like, You're kidding. You're under house arrest. You can't do this.
Yeah.
But those who I've come across who like it, man, they really like it. And others who hate it, like, they're either those rarities, like they only like certain kinds of Steve Martin movies, or
it's nostalgia for me, big time.
Nostalgia, baby.
It is.
Nostalgia, yeah.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and booty debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Welcome to the Better Call Daddy Show, the #1 podcast where we admit, no matter what happens, Daddy has the advice we need to fix our problems. Introducing my dad, Mr. Wayne Friedman.
That was good. It would be nice if you could also sing a song.
What would the song be?
You love Paris in the springtime. I just made up some words to it.
I love Rena in the springtime. I love Rena in the fall.
That's right. That's good enough.
What I do is interview people of interest, share it with my dad, and get my dad's advice. My dad is my hero. Nobody's got my daddy.
Oh boy, let's go to Grandpa.
You like to be a little rebel. I tried to rein you in. I have a daughter named Rena that acts just like I did. She's got a son that is not only just like me, but it's just like her.
I'm your host, Rena Friedman Watts. Invite your friends, subscribe, and I'm excited to take this journey with you. Let's dive in.
She was teasing this guy with this sword, and she accidentally cut his dick.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
And then he started to enjoy it.
I started going down the phone sex rabbit hole. You've got the wankers, and they jerk off in 5 seconds, and then they're done because A, they don't want to spend money, and B, they're quick.
My stepfather had mania. If I'm yelling at one of my kids, that fear, that rigid fear.
Mom even said to me, I hope you have a kid just like you.
There are lots of people that are being bought and sold right now for profit.
If you think you're going to kill yourself, shut up and kill yourself. If you're not going to kill yourself, then shut up, smarten up, and it's all on you. The bullshit has to end.
Wow.
When I was 11 years old, I was raped and molested over the course of a year.
What Jeffrey Epstein had was a sickness inside of him.
I am Evan Castrilli Carmichael. I could do anything that I believe that I can.
I'm so excited too. Let's go.
Next on Better Call Daddy with my mom and my grandpa.
Stay tuned.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up